Now we come to another sutta, 4.20.195. On a certain occasion, the Exalted One was staying among the Sakyans at Kapilavatthu in Banyan Park. At that time, Vappa, the Sakyan, a disciple of the unclothed, went to visit Moggallana the Great, and on coming to him, saluted the Venerable Moggallana the Great, and sat down at one side. As he sat thus, the Venerable Moggallana the Great was saying this to Vappa the Sakyan, disciple of the unclothed. There may be someone here, Vappa, restrained in body, speech and mind, owing to the waning of ignorance and the arising of knowledge. Now Vappa, do you see any cause owing to which the asavas causing pain would flow in upon the man at some future time? Sir, I do see such a reason. There may be in this case a certain previously done evil deed, whose fruit has not yet ripened. Owing to that, the asavas causing pain might flow in upon that man at some future time. At this juncture, the conversation which the two were holding was broken off. Then the Exalted One, in the evening, rising from his solitary meditation, went towards the service hall, and on reaching it sat down on a seat made ready. Having taken his seat, the Exalted One said this to the Venerable Moggallana the Great. So the Buddha said, "Pray Moggallana, on what subject are you talking as you sit here now, and what was the talk just interrupted?" "Lord, I was just saying to Vappa the Sakyan, disciple of the unclothed, there may be someone here, Vappa, restrained in body, speech and mind, owing to the waning of ignorance and the rising of knowledge. Now Vappa, do you see any cause owing to which the asavas causing pain would flow in upon the man at some future time?" At these words, Lord, Vappa was saying to me, "Sir, I do see such a reason. There may be in this case a certain previously done evil deed, whose fruit has not yet ripened. Owing to that, the asavas causing pain might flow in upon that man at some future time." This was the subject we were engaged upon. Then the talk was interrupted by the arrival of the Exalted One. Then said the Exalted One to Vappa the Sakyan, disciple of the unclothed, "If you, Vappa, would allow what you deem allowable, and reject what you deem should be rejected, and in case you should not understand the meaning of my words, if you would question me still further thus, 'How is this, sir? What is the meaning of that?' we might have a talk here. I will indeed, Lord, allow the Exalted One what I deem allowable, and I will reject what I deem should be rejected. And in case I do not understand the Exalted One's words, I will question the Exalted One still further thus, 'What is this, Lord? What is the meaning of that?' So be it. Let us have a talk here. I'll stop here for a while to just comment. This Moggallana asked this question. There may be someone here restrained in body, speech and mind, owing to the waning of ignorance and the arising of knowledge. Do you see any cause owing to which the asavas causing pain would flow in upon that man at some future time?" This asavas, this word asavas, I would translate as uncontrolled mental outflows. The outflows, mental outflows that we have no control over. For example, emotions, worries, painful, distressing thoughts, etc. And these are the asavas. So here Mahamoggallana is saying, because of the waning of ignorance and the arising of knowledge, someone is restrained in the karmas. He does not create new karma, and on top of not creating new karma, he has attained knowledge. So is it possible for the asavas, painful asavas, to arise in the future? And this man, this disciple of the unclothed, said that it is possible. Now this, although it's not mentioned here, I presume that this naked ascetic is a disciple of the Jain Nigantas, because the Jains, they have a belief that they have to punish themselves, continuously punish and inflict pain on themselves to wear away the karma of the previous lives. Whereas the Buddha said that it is not necessary. What is necessary is to attain enlightenment, attain knowledge. So you see here, the Buddha is challenging this naked ascetic to a debate. That's why he said, if you, Vapa, would allow what you deem allowable and reject what you deem should be rejected, then etc., then we might have a talk here. And so he's stating the conditions for a debate, and this naked ascetic accepted his conditions. Then the Buddha said, now what do you think, Vapa, as to these asavas which come about as a result of bodily activities? In the case of one who abstains from bodily activities that cause vexation and distress, it follows that those asavas causing pain do not exist in him. He does no fresh deed. As to his former deed or karma, he wears it out by constant contact with it, by a wearing out that is plain to see, not just for a time, one that asks for inspection, that leads onward, a wearing out that can be understood by the intelligent, each for himself. Now, Vapa, do you see any reason why asavas causing pain should flow in upon him at some future time? No, Lord, that cannot be. Just stop here for a moment. Here the Buddha is saying, those karmas that result in painful asavas, if that person stops doing it, is it possible that those new painful asavas would arise? So this naked ascetic had to say no. Then the Buddha continued, now again, Vapa, what think you as to those asavas that come about as the result of the activities of speech, as a result of activities of mind? In the case of one who abstains from activities of speech and mind that cause vexation and distress, it follows that those asavas causing pain do not exist in him. He does no fresh deed. As to his former deed, he wears it out by constant contact, by a wearing out that can be understood by the intelligent, each for himself. Now, Vapa, do you see any reason why asavas causing pain should flow in upon him at some future time? No, Lord, that cannot be. Again, what think you, Vapa, as to those asavas causing vexation and distress which result from ignorance, owing to the waning of ignorance and the arising of knowledge? It follows that those asavas of vexation and distress do not exist in him. He does no fresh deed. As to his former deed, he wears it out by constant contact with it, by a wearing out that is plain to see, not just for a time, one that asks for inspection, that leads onward, a wearing out that can be understood by the intelligent, each for himself. Now, Vapa, do you see any reason why asavas causing pain should flow in upon him at some future time? No, Lord, that cannot be. So then, Vapa, by the monk whose mind is perfectly released, 6 constant abiding states are attained. He, seeing an object with the eye, is neither elated nor depressed, but rests indifferent, mindful and comprehending, hearing a sound with the ear, smelling a scent with the nose, tasting a savour with the tongue, with body contacting tangibles, with mind cognizing mental states. He is neither elated nor depressed, but rests equanimous, mindful and aware. When he feels a feeling limited by body, he knows that he so feels. When he feels a feeling limited by life, he knows that he so feels. He knows, when body breaks up after life is used up, all my experiences in this world will lose their lure and grow cold. Suppose, Vapa, that a shadow is cast by a stump. Then comes a man with axe and basket and cuts down that stump by the root. So doing, he digs all round it. Having done so, he pulls up the roots, even the rootlets and root fibers. He chops that stump into logs, and having done so, chops the log into chips. The chips he dries in wind and sun, then burns them with fire, then makes an ash heap. The ash heap he winnows in a strong wind, or lets the ash be carried away by a swiftly flowing river. Verily, Vappa, that shadow cast because of the stump is cut off at the root, made like a palm tree stump, made not to become again, of a nature not to arise again in future time. Just in the same way, Vappa, by a monk whose heart is thus released, 6 constant abiding places are won. He, seeing an object with the eye, etc., etc., with mind cognizing mental states, is neither elated nor depressed, but abides equanimous, mindful and aware. When he feels a feeling limited by body, limited by life, he knows that he so feels. He knows, when body breaks up, after life is used up, all my experiences in this world will lose their lure and grow cold. At these words, Vappa, the Sakyan, disciple of the unclothed, said this to the Exalted One. Lord, just like a man desirous of wealth who tends his property but gets no increase therefrom, but instead gets toil and trouble for his pains, even so, Lord, did I, desirous of profit, do service unto the unclothed. But I got no profit thereby, but instead got toil and trouble for my pains. I myself, Lord, from this day forth, whatever faith I had in those fools, the unclothed, I winnow it away in a strong wind, or I let it be carried away by a swiftly flowing river. It is wonderful, Lord, it is marvelous. May the Exalted One accept me as his follower from this time forth, so long as life shall last, as one who has gone to him for refuge. That's the end of the sutta. So you see, here the Buddha is saying that abstention from unskillful karma through body, speech and mind will cause no new painful result, vipaka, to ripen. And then the painful vipaka, the painful result of karma due to old karma is worn out by constant contact with it, tolerating this karma as they arise. And then that person, by contemplation, by practicing the holy path, meditation, etc., becomes liberated, and one whose mind is liberated abides equanimous, mindful and aware, even when dying. That's why when the Buddha said when he's dying, he knows when body breaks up, after life is used up, all my experiences in this world will lose their lure and grow cold. You can imagine, like for example, when we wake up after a dream, suppose we had a nightmare, and then suddenly we wake up, then we realize it's only a dream. All that was so important in that nightmare is no more important. So in the same way, when we are dying, all the things in the world that was so important to us, that was so attractive, etc., as we are going to die, we find it's no more important. Absolutely not important anymore. That's why only karma is very important. If we do wrong karma, then we know we have to pay for it. If we do a lot of good karma, we know we are going to be very happy after this. That's why we have to be very, very careful with karma. When we practice the spiritual path, it's not only the meditation that's important. A lot of people think meditation is the most important thing, and we forget about the basics. What is the basic? Basic is sila. Sila is keeping the precepts. It is also moral conduct. And in the suttas, the Buddha defines the moral conduct, sila, basically as having purity of the 3 karmas through the body, speech and mind. Body, speech and mind. So sometimes people only think of the 5 precepts, they forget about this basic teaching, that our karmas of body, speech and mind, we have to be very, very careful. Don't talk bad about somebody who doesn't deserve to be talked bad about, and don't have evil intentions or evil thoughts against somebody who the Buddha says cultivates the holy path, etc. So you have to be very, very careful.